Hey, this is Brandon from Galaxydoc Market. Today is May 21st, 2024. It's about 3:10 p.m. as I am making this video, and hopefully this, after all the processing and stuff gets out there, sometime early tomorrow, May 22nd. And the topic is how to trade NVIDIA earnings, and they are reporting earnings on May 22nd, 2024 after hours. And what I want to talk about is, will NVIDIA continue to flex their muscle? And I'm going to do a deep dive, enough so that you will have some things to think about if you are considering trading NVIDIA. And as you can see, I have the United States Congress seal. I got Jensen Huang, the CEO, flexing his muscles with his tattoo. And then we got the NVIDIA here. Here's the disclaimer. Read it, pause it. If you agree, please move forward. And again, shameless plug. We are on x.com, Galaxydoc Market. I just posted a bunch of stuff there for everybody to think about, just to get you thinking as well as to help improve your trading. Any of the intraday stuff, any of the breaking stuff, any of the important charts or news or anything that is important, I will post over there that I cannot post in YouTube. All right, so this is a little bit of humor about what's happening here. As NVIDIA goes, so goes the market, and we really are at that precipice, aren't we? A lot of people, including, a lot of famous bears have recently given in and capitulated, which is what usually happens near the top. However, I do understand that we are entering into the summer months, and that tends to be a slow, low volume, grinding, higher market. And so we are aware of that. And I thought this was pretty, pretty right on in terms of how the market is right now. There's just very, very few stocks that are holding up the entire market to give the illusion of strength. And NVIDIA is a very important stock, and that earnings has very big significance on whether this market continues higher or whether it goes lower. Okay, so our job is to not interject any type of personal feelings or biases into the market, but to really look at what the markets are telling us. Okay, but this is literally a interesting take on the reality of the market. Okay, so we know that the NVIDIA is reporting earnings on May 22nd, 2024 after the market closes. And that's tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Today is Tuesday, folks, as I bring you this. And let's do a quick dive into what it is that we're looking at and see how NVIDIA's earnings and their performance in the past has kept up with the market. So if you really look, NVIDIA has been just blowing away estimates. I mean, they became really the darling of this AI revolution. And not only that, but they are integral to a lot of these GPUs, which are graphics cards, not only for gaming, but for, all the crypto, Bitcoin mining, all of that stuff. They have basically positioned themselves to be indispensable not only for AI, but for, all of these video processing needs. They have gone into a space that is continuing to grow, which is artificial intelligence. And I don't think a lot of people understand how big they've become. Now, we are going to look at the Q4 2023 reported on February 21st, 2024. Yeah, they're beating estimates. The reported EPS, they beat by 95 cents last time. And then they're beating on the top line and the bottom line. Their revenues were higher than estimated. And then, of course, on Q3, done on November 21st, 2023. Again, a pretty significant beat. And of course, they're beating on the revenues, right? And then same story. Okay, although this one is not as spectacular as these previous two. On August 23rd, they reported earnings and they still beat by 62 cents. And again, the revenues, they beat handedly. I mean, this is a company that is growing hand over fist. And, last May 21st, They basically beat earnings again. EPS wasn't as spectacular, but their guidance was fantastic, right? But they really blew it out of the waters in terms of their actual revenue. I'm not going to get into the rest of these. Here's the thing that I want you to understand, though. Sequentially, I know they're doing really well. I know they're growing. But one thing that you should know that there is a trend, downward trend in terms of the EPS beats, right? They kind of blew it out of the water in July. That's basically this area right here, okay? And then as they came into January 24th, and the EPS was decelerating. Okay, you see that deceleration, or am I the only one that sees it? Okay, just keep that in mind. On the revenue front, also, with exception of that July month where there's just this outsized growth, it starts to decelerate. Okay, we're at the revenue is increasing by 7.57%. So if trend is your friend, you can expect to see, are they going to report a EPS or revenue that's basically either in line, or is the street gonna like that? Right now, if you look at what happened with AZO, which is AutoZone, they blew away earnings, but the street didn't like it. Currently, what's happening to them is nothing's pretty. They're down over $100. I know it's a pretty big stock. However, very good earnings. It's getting punished because we're getting toppy in that area. Okay, so let's see how NVIDIA traded in those times. So let's look at the Q4, the most recent quarter. Okay, I said they beat EPS and revenues, right? And so they traded down, and then they basically ran higher and just gapped and went, right? I mean, it just went higher. I mean, we know what happened. The most recent earnings, okay, they went to the 825, were near about $1,000, right? 950, 960. That's where we are, okay, and it is at all-time highs. I mean, it's at historical all-time highs. Okay, now if NVIDIA reports on this earnings, and this is one thing that you need to keep in mind, it is a very expensive stock now in terms of just sheer price, right? Not only on the metrics, but I mean, it is an expensive stock to buy, a $900+ stock. What if they report stock split? Well, I believe that's going to cause it to go higher, obviously, and market loves that. But if that happens, I would wait 2 or 3 days. Well, wait until the euphoria wears off and it stalls, and then you may have a chance to ride this thing down. I would not trade this to the upside right now, and I just wouldn't. But then you got to exercise caution if you're bearish also. But here is the other situation on the Q3 earnings front. Okay, they reported earnings on November 21st. Here's what happened, though. They reported after hours, and then the next day, it kind of gapped a little bit, slight gap, and then it just sold off. It was a gap and crap here. Okay, and on good earnings. And that's what I mean, is that I think the street's expectations on NVIDIA has gotten ahead of itself. Well, let's look at Q2 earnings, okay? Q2 earnings, they, high expectations. They're near all-time highs, right? Kind of like right now, right? They beat earnings, they beat EPS and revenue, and they were at near all-time highs. So what happened? They gapped, and then they crapped, right? Gap and crap, okay, right here. And so they sold off, and they went from $500 all the way down to like in a couple of days down into about 450 area. It's a 50-point drop. And so, what I'm saying is that, unless you want some sort of lottery tickets and you think this thing's going to move either up or down, it just becomes a gamble, right? But look at the characteristics right now. What am I telling you? If we are near all-time highs, we're right there, guys. Even if they beat earnings, there's going to be a lot of selling, and we'll look at the insider selling, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but I will tell you that it was surprising to me. Okay, so here's the Q1 2023, about a year ago. They basically beat earnings, EPS, and revenues. They gave strong guidance. Everything is fantastic, right? But here's the thing. This stock, when they reported it, was kind of coming off of the temporary bottom, midway through, maybe about 38.86 or 50% retracement. And so, of course, when they beat EPS and revenues and offered strong guidance, and that everything is fine, and that it wasn't as lofty or toppy as everybody thought it was. Well, it was a relief because everybody was sort of bearish on the stock at that time, and it ran away. Okay, I think we're in a different situation right now. We are looking at it from a standpoint that how much higher can this stock go at this point? It's already toppy. We see a lot of these stocks that basically blow away earnings, and people are selling. And let's look at the insider selling, shall we? And boy, I got something for you, folks. So when you compare it to 2021 to 2022, it's nothing like that big. I mean, 2021 was by far the biggest in the Q1 selling, right? Basically in 23 there was nothing. $0 sold in Q1 2023, but from Q3, and this is going to blow your socks off. Every time it went up, people were selling, okay? And I'll show you what kind of people are selling these, okay? And then Q1, constant selling. Yes, the CEO is selling. Everybody's selling, okay? There's very few people that are buying, and I think it's maybe a decoy or something, or they got bad information, but boy. Remember that Congress seal that I told you? I mean, this is like Congress Hotel. What are they doing? Are they going to learning how to day trade? Are they getting insider information? I'm not sure. Okay. And I guess the congressmen, women have the right, but they have sensitive information that if I had that sensitive information and I traded on it, I'd have SEC and FBI knocking on my door, I believe. It's absolutely disgusting. And while our country has our own set of problems right now, don't we? We are as divided as ever. And by the way, I don't like the Democrats or the Republicans, okay? So I'm not either, okay? I like some things on the left and I like some things on the right. However, this is absolutely disgusting. When you look at the insider, this is from Market Beat, and I'm sure you could dig yourself up. I also posted this on x.com as I was doing this. What is the problem here? The problem is that all of these people have sensitive information and shapes the future of American commerce and everything. And these are all U.S. Congress members. I don't see any senators. I don't see anybody else in the Commerce Department or Secretary of State. These are all U.S. congressmen. Okay, and I was surprised to see. I'm from Arizona. To see our very lovable Greg Stanton on this list. Okay. And again, he has the right to buy it, but geez, guys, man, are you gonna make it look that obvious about these type of transactions? And then we don't know what these how many shares they bought, and we just have a total range of the transactions. But I mean, this is disgusting, folks. Okay. In the meantime, just kind of interspersed in there is our CEO, right? Jensen Huang, CEO, selling 29,000. I mean, 13 million. I'm sure. Well, he deserves it. I mean, I think this is great for him. But if he thought the market wasn't so toppy, and remember what Jamie Dimon said yesterday about J.P. Morgan Chase, that he wouldn't be buying back shares at these levels, and these guys aren't stupid. Okay. The insider selling is at a crescendo. And if you haven't seen what happened with GME and GameStop, and then I think one of the presidential candidates said he bought GameStop as a what? As a what? Show of support for the little people? Come on, guys. We're not that stupid, folks. All right. I don't care what this is, but this is insider trading. These people do not know how to trade stocks. Maybe they do. Maybe I underestimate them. Not this many people. Okay, they're selling. They're selling. They're just selling. Okay, and then to throw Sessions, Pete Sessions, I think he's a Republican from Texas, right? I don't know what this deal is. We don't know what they're doing. Okay, but why are you buying here when everybody else is selling? Okay. Is it just to say, hey, look, you know what? I sold when everybody was selling. So when it crashed, I wasn't doing insider trading. Who knows? Okay, I'm not a big fan of our Congress. I think they do nothing but create problems and do nothing. Okay, and I'm not going to get political, but that's really what it is. As the Rome burns, right? Our country has a lot of problems, and yet these people are basically the greatest stock traders of all time, right? I mean, look at this. They're selling. I mean, these are all U.S. congressional members. I mean, where are the senators? Geez. And then here's our favorite, she's the greatest stock trader of all time, I think, and good for her if she does. But the thing is that this is ridiculous, folks. All right. Anyways, so the question I have for the NVIDIA board of directors is: are these all the board of director members, or how are these? How is there so many Congress members, or congressmen and women, becoming so in tune with trading stocks? Okay. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on, and it's disgusting. And I don't care about the dollar amounts that are there. And then once in a while, you'll get one of these Congress people buying some obscure amount. Okay. I do believe their salary per year is what, 190, 180, maybe 200,000 a year, right? This is absolutely disgusting, folks. All right. Not that they shouldn't make. I don't want to make this into a diatribe about what is fair and isn't fair, but these people are public servants, and they are supposed to look out for the best interest of the country. It looks like they're fattening their pockets. And if you look back in the history of Rome right before it fell, and look what the senators and all the politicians did. While they entertained you with gladiator fights, which is modern day NFL, NBA, American Idol, Survivor, Bachelor, whatever. But let's get back. Okay, so our CEO is selling. Okay, he deserves it. I mean, he ran this company to higher. But this is a sign, folks, that if he thought this was such a great value, why would he be selling? I mean, he deserves to be rich. I mean, if he can do what the CEO is doing at NVIDIA, yeah, he deserves all of it. I'm just saying, look at it from this standpoint. Okay. Uh, I don't know. The do nothing Congress people are basically selling. Okay, what did they hear? All right, and then here's the confounding factor, and let's do our technical analysis now, folks. This is the NVIDIA daily chart. Okay, and you can see that we bottomed about here. We're following that phase of one trend line above. Okay, we have gone through basically this area of resistance, and we're just chopping around. Okay, it's either going to do one thing. It's going to break out violently, or it's going to break down violently. It's one or the other. Okay. Some people might say, well, this was an inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, but the problem is we're at a all-time highs area. Generally, these inverse head and shoulders are more effective when it's down here, right down here in this area. Okay, but they're not. What are our RSI and things telling you? Well, RSI is pretty much flat to having a negative divergence. The volume is very lacking, right? We are above most of the moving averages, and we are finding support right and bouncing off of the ADMA, which is very important. Okay, so the daily right now it looks fairly decent, right? But here's the thing: when you look at the MACD is diverging slightly on the histogram. Okay, we haven't really had any. I thought there would be like a death cross, but we're still going. I think the earnings are going to solve all of these issues. Okay, CCI is definitely diverging right here. Okay, so you got to take all of these and from a top-down approach. Now, here's the problem: the stochastic is moving sideways, so it's just chopping sideways. It's going to go up here and it's going to go down, and we're at all-time highs near the extreme levels, and so that's going to basically cause, it's telling you that the upside is limited. But it doesn't mean that it has to fall down, right? It has to come down. It really doesn't. What is our PPO ADX telling us? Well, the PPO ADX is forming this formation. I was thinking that it would turn over, and probably after the earnings, it might do that. Okay. It really is kind of doing this. So I'm looking for a pattern like this, which would be bearish. Okay. However, if it basically decides to do this, then here's a cup formation. that's forming, right? If it does this and this takes off like this and that takes off like this is bullish. Okay, that is a bullish formation. Okay, so so the daily, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's just really not doing anything conclusive, but we are at all-time highs. This is price for perfection. Okay, accumulation and distribution, is just basically at an all-time high. If you draw this line, yes, we're diverging a little bit, and yes, we are diverging down temporarily. ATR, we had a change in the direction. We're coming down slowly. Okay. Question is, are we going to change and start going higher? If this thing sells off, of course ATR is going to rise. Okay, let's look at basically the weekly. Weekly is another story, right? Weekly is bearish. Okay, we have divergence on the RSI. We are losing momentum, right? We have this overhead resistance, and it's just chopping around in that area. We had the phase one, and then we basically developed another phase one and two right here. Okay, we need to break above here to go higher. There's a lot of overhead resistance. Okay, so that's something that you need to be aware of. Now let's look down into the volume. Volume is non-existent. We've got a divergence on the MACD. MACD histogram is negative, and so it's foretelling that there's further downside to come, and there's a lot of room to move down. We just need this to move down here. CCI is divergent and negative. Okay, so it is bearish. Weekly is bearish. The daily is showing divergence, but it looks like it's either going to break out or break down. Looking at the PPO ADX on the weekly, however, we've got a nice clean bearish formation. Okay, now can it do this? Is it making one of these? That's a bullish one. So that would have to take a breakout type of an earnings report, and no one knows, right? You have to look at what the insiders are doing, though. Are the insiders selling? And the expert traders at Congress, what are they doing? Are they buying or selling? All right. So that's basically what we're doing. Accumulation and distribution. We've been in a accumulation phase, and this is where the insiders are selling near the top. And then ATR is forming a divergence. Remember what I said about ATR. The prevailing direction is on the way up. And if this starts to come down, ATR will tell us that there is a directionality change, just like on the daily. You saw that a few weeks ago. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's look at the options chain. This is where I want you to pay attention, because the open interest is like 13,000, and then volume is 14 near the money at 950. Whereas on the put side, that's call right here. And the put side here is basically 38.92 and 21.61. Okay. IV percentage is 111.598, so they are expecting a fairly decent sized move here, about 77 points. I do believe that if this does move on the downside, if it breaks down, I think there's going to be a lot of meat left on this bone to come down. I think there's going to be at least 125 to maybe 200 points of move coming on this. There is a discrepancy in the calls to puts. Okay, is this retail buying or is this institutional buying? To me, insiders are selling. Congress people are selling, with the exception of a few people that are buying calls, but they're like in the thousands, instead of the millions that they're reaping off of this. My feeling is that when it's this skewed, it's going to have a pretty decent sized move. This might be just a smoke screen. So in conclusion, okay, NVIDIA is absolutely priced for perfection. It's near the all-time highs. Insiders are selling. Congressmen and women are selling. The put-to-call ratio skew is skewed to the call side. And is this hedging? We don't know. I mean, this is pretty wide type of skew, okay? Historically, this can lead to upside surprise, except we're at all-time highs. Given the altitude and near tops, the skew can be contrarian. Guidance is key. I mean, are they going to continue to grow, or are the street basically going to sell the news? Remember, as goes the NVIDIA, so goes the market. We are running out of time for this market pullback, but I believe there is going to be one more. I mean, there is going to be a little bit higher push in the markets, okay? But like I said, all right, I just don't think, I think the NVIDIA is going to tell us that story, right? The markets are going to do what they're going to do, and we're coming into fairly decent summer low volatility rallies, okay? What is disgusting is the disproportionate number of U.S. Congress men and women selling NVIDIA. I didn't know they became such a great stock traders. Are they running the country or trading on insider info? Greg Stanton, you're from Arizona. What the heck, man? Any comments? Put open interest is statistically significant. All right. It is just basically skewed towards the call side. Okay. Unless maybe they know something. However, insiders are selling. Just remember that. Okay. PPO ADX is bearish. Okay. On the weekly. Weekly phase 2 needs to break above 975 for further upside. Insiders are selling. I guess also Nancy Pelosi bought a bunch of shares, and I think there was an article about her making $10-20 million last year in stocks. Okay, there is no possible way that people can make that much money without some help. Okay, if you're gonna front run, it's not financial advice. Okay, that becomes a gamble. Okay, you're only going for the YOLO. If this falls, NVIDIA can fall 22. Yeah, like I said, 125 to 200 points, maybe 250 plus points out of the money. Lotteries only if you're going to do that, so that you don't get hurt. It's better to wait, because this market, it's got the Fed put. It's just going to go higher. I think I'm looking for a SPY to hit about 533, 535 before rolling over. But I think NVIDIA, if they have bad earnings, it's going to bring the market down fast. Okay, so the market rally is dependent on NVIDIA. All right, so thank you so much for this. Like us, share us, give us the thumbs up at YouTube, and above all, please comment, good and bad. And then please subscribe, right? I don't know. We just started growing over the last week or so. And so I am humbled and I'm super, super excited about that. If you want to find out how to work with us at Galaxydoc Market, here's the email, coachbrandon@protonmail.com, and schedule a consultation. Otherwise, go get some alpha, folks. Bye-bye.